All right, we're live. I'm Stuart.
I'm
Welcome.
alive too, Stu.
I'm alive. Here we are. It's funny. It's not like I was nervous doing this, but this is natural now. So fun to just get on here and anyway, do our live stream.
Do it.
Let's do it. We got a fun
Yeah.
program today. As a reminder, we do our live stream as a way to connect with you, our community, and kind of share things that are happening. One of those fun things that's happening is our email network is alive with questions about some billing and a tough spot that a doctor's in. So maybe we can discuss it. We're going to have eAssist come on and share a little bit about office billing and what they've learned over the years. So that'll be cool. Steve, we got to talk about end of Smiles for Life.
What? The end
Smiles.
of this year's campaign.
The end of this year's Whitening. The end of this year's
celebration. We're crossing the finish line for 2022 Smiles for Life Whitening campaign.
And last week, here's the Crown Council website. I just wanted to direct you to, if you go to my directory, and then if you go to the Premium Member Hub, you will find here at the top right this week's Whitening campaign numbers. And the top video here was Greg and Spencer going over all the details about how we're concluding the end of the campaign for this year. So getting back whitening kits, reconciling all the money that you are going to give to a local charity, how that money arrives, everything that as you wrap up some advice that we've had over the last 25 years, that we've learned with Smiles for Life. So that's a great little 6.5 minute segment to watch as a team as you wrap up Smiles for Life Whitening. Yeah, it's not coming to an end. We're not coming to an end. Well, one thing we've learned is Smiles for Life Whitening campaign. It definitely is not a 4-month project. It's more like a year-long project that'll spill into September when you get your charities check and planning for goals and all sorts of stuff for next year. So anyway, good way to get started there and end your campaign. All right, very cool. Steve, how was camping? You went camping last week.
I did. Went camping with the Boy Scouts in the Colorado Rockies. It was nice to get out of the Texas heat.
Mm-hmm.
It was chilly, colder than I expected. We actually had snow one morning. We were way up in the mountains, but it was great. I actually read 2 whole books, Stu.
What?
Cover to cover. It was great. So no, it was great. And Owen, my son Owen had a blast. They actually did a wilderness survival camp out one night out in the woods with the bears, and we had a blast. So thanks for asking.
Did he have to build I remember that merit badge, you have to build your own shelter?
I had to build a shelter. Yeah, I mean, has just a few things that they take with them, and
so good.
Yeah, it was great.
What did you learn anything about anything you learned you came home with from camping with the boys?
Yeah, some really cool things. In so many areas we could do like 2 hours just on that stuff. But yeah, I'm always amazed what a group of people can accomplish when there is a common purpose, everyone working together in harmony, just like our Crown Council mastermind groups. That's the whole objective. That you can find a solution to almost every single problem. So
I love that.
That's the beauty of the mastermind, whether it's the email network or the mastermind group, whatever format it is, it can be done when you put the genius to work. So
you're much kinder to those boys than I am. When I was a scoutmaster, I used to hang a saying in the kitchen when we camp, and my inspirational quote for them was, "Don't be an idiot."
It is amazing. I think they say, I've watched this, especially if you put a group, the moment you put 2 like 12-year-old or older teenage boys together, the average IQ drops by 50%.
I often found that most problems could be solved with that question to them.
Yes.
Would an idiot do what you are doing right now? And they would be doing that thing.
Too funny.
Sharpening sticks into a pointy shiv. I'm like, why would you make this?
They will always do that. And then play with it.
So that's good. Fun. Very good. All right. Well, we have Natalie from eAssist. She is in our waiting room. So we'll ask DJ to bring her in. And Natalie, we've got a few questions for her. I know she chimed into the email network yesterday with some thoughts on billing, with thoughts on making sure that the front office billing department is organized, and some suggestions. So maybe that's where we'll start. Hi, Natalie.
Hello. How is everyone doing?
Good to see you.
Very good.
Good.
Natalie's going to join us at our Young Dentist program in a couple weeks live. So we're grateful to have you now, and then we'll be together in a few weeks. So you chimed in on the email network, Natalie, yesterday, which was fun to have a resource partner chime in. Maybe just real quick, tell everybody what eAssist does, and then what you've learned about. We'll just start there. What does eAssist do?
So eAssist, we are here to help dentists really focus on patient care. That's the core of every practice, right? Seeing your patients, making sure their oral health needs are met. So we come in and we helped with the back of the practice, so you guys can focus on those patients who are there in the practice. So we help with all sorts of things, from billing, verification, patient receivables, credentialing, accounting, and more.
Okay, very good. So in your experience, share maybe one or two things that you have learned about dental billing working at eAssist.
Yeah, so eAssist has allowed me the opportunity to work with dental practices across the nation. And the biggest eye-opener that I've seen is a majority of the dental practices everywhere are experiencing the same issues. So you're not alone. Most offices are not sending claims within 24 hours of treatment in order to get that reimbursement timely. Something else I've learned is that getting on top of the insurance aging is a capacity problem. No matter how great your OM is or how skilled, their primary focus should be patient care and aligning you to grow the practice, not spending hours upon hours chasing down the outstanding revenue. So the claim gets kind of put on that back burner and piles up. On top of this, the insurance companies continue to find new ways to deny claims. So having time and access to problem solve these roadblocks has been invaluable.
Very good. Steve, any questions for Natalie?
Biggest mistakes practices make when dealing with insurance, Natalie?
Biggest mistake I've personally seen is sending out claims correctly, right? End of the day, a lot of times after school, patients come in kind of a lot, right? We've got that big chunk at 3 to 5, and being able to get those claims out properly is a big thing to see that revenue increase. If they're going out just super quick without the right narratives, attachments, or documents, that's going to delay that revenue from coming back in quickly.
Okay. And what is there everything, we always say everything's 80-20. 80% of the problem is in 20% of the mistakes that are made. So what are the top 2 claims mistakes that practices make in terms of accuracy?
That probably clinical notes, right? Getting those SOAP notes in there and those narratives. If you are overwriting narratives, the insurance company is never going to read it. Their box line item for those narratives is small for a reason, because they just really want you to tell them why the treatment was needed and if it was dental necessity, pretty much. If you're writing them a novel, they're not going to read it. They're just going to deny it automatically. Another one is post-ops. I know we got to get a lot of pre-ops, but I'm seeing insurances, if you don't take an intraoral of the core buildup prep, or even after treatments rendered, they don't believe that it was actually done.
Okay. So not including the post-op picture. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. They want to see that post-op. They want to see that crown was really cemented. They want to see the apex of the endofill was complete. They want to see it from start to end.
Got it. Excellent. So short chart notes or clinical notes, make sure you include post-op pictures so you can prove you actually did the work that came in. Last question. borderline insurance fraud. So what are some common things that you see practices do that they think is just fine that would potentially qualify as insurance fraud?
Always bill what you did by who did it.
Oh,
yeah. Pretty simple.
What a concept.
Yeah. So if you didn't do it, don't bill it. If you can't prove you did it, don't bill it, right? Like bill what you did, be able to prove that you did it, and bill who did it.
Okay. So in other words, if, because I see this a lot as well, is if I have somebody who's credentialed, the provider that's credentialed in the office and somebody who isn't, it is not legal to have the uncredentialed provider do the work and then bill it under the credentialed provider.
I mean, big thing is the insurance company, it's not if they're going to audit you, it's when, right? They will come audit, and you want to be able to show that everything you sent them was correct. Otherwise, I've seen people go on focus review. I see people get dropped. I see people have to pay refunds to the insurance company. So yeah.
I said that was going to be the last question. This is really the last question. So for practices that are not providers, they're not contracted, and they're filing for their patients for out-of-network benefits, any things you see there that they, because a lot of times we're not a network, we don't have a contract. So any things you see there that they need to be aware of, even though they're out of network?
No, just really make sure you're billing everyone the same, right? Your UCR fees are the same across the board for your out of network. You can do professional discounts differently, but you can't say, hey, I'm going to charge patient A $1,200 for a crown, but my UCR fee for patient B is going to be $1,000, right? Make sure your fees are the same across the board.
Perfect. Any other trends that you see when you say, all practices are, experiencing similar things? Any trends of late that you see in the insurance world that are maybe different than they were a year ago or 6 months ago? What are the trends?
Yeah, a lot of fun trends. So Blue Cross is coming out wanting the signed clinical notes from doctors on major services. We all know Aetna wants a intraoral of the core buildup being completed, since you can't see it on the x-ray. More insurances are following that trend. We also see Cigna and other insurances are starting to follow the trend by seeing if you do a core buildup same day as that CEREC crown, they're saying the core buildup is inclusive too. That is not an inclusive to procedure. It's its own CDT code. So make sure that you're just following up on that with the post and seat date of the crown, or letting them know you have a CEREC.
Got it. Excellent suggestions.
Very cool. Natalie, on the email network, we are kind of working through what was known as a big billing mess, is what was described. I know you've been watching it. What are some things that offices can do that you've seen that will prevent maybe what's happening on the email network, or prevent just any kind of billing mess?
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Barrett's email was shocking, but unfortunately, he's not alone. Many dental practices come to eAssist with the same issues, needing dental billing specialists to help clean up a massive mess. We notice across the nation that it is harder and harder to find a billing specialist in your area. So one of the first things is kind of making that decision to streamline your process. If your office manager goes out of town, vacation day, holiday pay, sick day, where's that revenue going? Is it coming to a pause and a standstill? So one great option is obviously eAssist. And, we're here to make sure that your OM is able to focus on high level things that you need them to do in office. And then when they're out of office, you don't have to worry about anything coming to a pause. A second thing would be analyze which dental billing process are causing your roadblocks. Is it your dental billing? Is it your patient billing? Or is it your verification? Just like Dr. Barrett mentioned, if those fee schedules are wrong, or that breakdown of benefits wasn't put in accurately, it's going to cause a ripple effect down the road. So taking a huge step towards avoiding a billing mess and setting your practice up for success would be to kind of find what that roadblock is that's going to cause that ripple effect. And then the third thing is just, integrating eAssist into your team. It really helps maximize the efficiency by having good communication. We make sure we send daily reports letting you know what we've touched on, where the overall health of your practice is. If you don't know what your insurance aging numbers are, that's a problem. That's money owed to your practice. That's revenue possibly lost. So we're going to send you those reports and have weekly calls with you. So if we see, hey, your Delta fee schedules are off, your patients are coming in a day too early for hygiene, that's an automatic denial, we're going to communicate this with you so you guys can make best decisions, but we're happy to help you get those corrected as well.
Very cool. Thanks, Natalie. Very good. Steve, anything else? Any follow-up?
Thanks, Natalie. You're a wealth of information, and thank you
very
for
good.
All of your engagement and participation with Crown Council. And if anybody has specific questions for you, and thank you for posting on the email network yesterday. Contact information.
Do you want me to drop it in the chat?
Would you?
Yeah, and we'll include it with this live stream. We can put it there, and then on the Crown Council website, you can go to the Resource Partner Hub, and you can find eAssist there. Lots of information about how to get in touch with Natalie. So very good.
Awesome. Well, I just dropped my email and my cell, so feel free to call or text me or email me. And then I'm excited to see everyone who's coming to the event next month. So
yeah,
very cool.
New dentist. You got it.
All right. Thanks, Natalie.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Okay. Bye-bye. Very good. Good questions. Man, insurance, navigating that. You got to be good. You got to be good to know what's going on there. So, hey, Steve, well, I know you got, so Steve has a 12 questions regarding insurance that we're going to wait. So these are questions that he's going to ask you. We're going to wait and do that here at the end, because I want to save all the time at the end for it. Is that okay? We'll do our.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay. So I've got a little video with some of our I call them Crown Council All-Stars. I did a little interview yesterday with Dr. Dan Garza and Jerry Reyna out of Texas. These are
not just Texas. They are from Goliad, Texas. The
Texas.
First city of Texas. Goliad was the first official city in the state of Texas. Dr. Garza has been a dentist there for many. He is the dentist in the first city of Texas.
Man,
and spot.
They are when you mentioned 80-20, this is a top 20 for sure in the Crown Council, whether it's humanitarian trips or Smiles for Life Hall of Fame, attending the annual event. They are what I call all in when it comes to participating with us. So they share with me, I'll play the video. They share 10, 15 minutes here of how they make Smiles for Life a success in their practice, what they do, and hold on until they tell you about how they had a gun raffle to raise money.
Only in Goliad, Texas.
Okay, I'll play the video, then we can talk about it. Jerry Reyna and Dr. Dan Garza, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
These are very familiar faces to me, as we see each other a couple times a year at all of our live gatherings. But it's very fun to have you on. You are Crown Council All-Stars in every way, which I thought it'd be fun to have you come on and share, first of all, Smiles for Life success, and then we'll talk a little bit about Crown Council membership. So if you didn't know, the two of you, these two sitting in front of you are part of the Crown Council Smiles for Life Hall of Fame. They've raised over $230,000 for Smiles for Life over the last 25 years. Maybe let's start there. If you were going to say your top 3 things that you do to make sure that Smile.
I think we lost the sound, Stu.
Whitening. And
can you not hear the sound, Steve?
Yeah, now we can.
You can hear now?
we've had our partner, which is the Writing Therapy Center, for many, many years. And it's the engagement of the patient. Part of our tour is when we have new patients or patients that are of record, we have a wall in the office that's totally about the Writing Therapy Center and Smiles for Life. So it's not something that we just do and talk about from, March through June, or we talk about it all year round. So we have we have an engagement with patients all the time as to what we never stop talking about Smiles for Life the entire year. We dedicate conversation to that. So it's just something we always do. And we're in a small area, so we have to be careful that we never let those things, that conversation go to the wayside for sure. So it's something that we always are engaged in.
And the Writing Therapy Center is your local charity. Tell us how you interact with them. How are they part of your Smiles for Life Whitening campaign?
Some of them are actual patients, and they're a part of our church congregation too. So that works for us also, which is wonderful because we're always in relationship with them. This is an organization that has children, adults. They have a Wounded Warrior segment. So we have been present there as volunteers years ago. Greg helped us with a wish, for the covered arena, and that was an unfinished project for a long time, but it's done. So we try to stay engaged with them all the time, and they are part of they help us as far as the whitening. Also, they advertise for us, they talk for us when we're involved with raffles. They are 50% of what we sell as far as raffle tickets. They're engaged all the time too. So cool. they only survive on how we can charitably work for them. Nice. So
we're not their sole benefactor. They have other people, but we're a major part of it. And thank goodness they're very appreciative of what we are able to help them with.
Very good. Dr. Garza, maybe share with us why how does Smiles for Life benefit? You talked a little bit about how you benefit the community. What has Smiles for Life Whitening done for your team at your practice over the last 25 years? I mean, how is it part of who you guys are?
Well, we always try to have team members who are very caring, who have a good heart. That's usually the main reason they end up working here, is because we hired them because they have a good heart. We don't care about their qualifications. If they've got a good heart, they're going to have good qualifications. But anyway, as we go to the annual event and see where the funds go, and the team members see how important this program is, they get pretty much self-motivated. Some of the presentations that y'all put on at the annual event are just spectacular, and we want to do everything we can to keep things moving forward, because this is a wonderful charity. It's very motivating for us to be able to be a very small part of this.
Very cool. What advice would you give to a new practice starting? They're brand new doing Smiles for Life. What would you say is a key to success for them when they start off? I point or look back to when we initially started, and you kind of have to feel your way around and see what works, see what doesn't work, not be afraid if something that you try doesn't work. I think we had an ice cream sale one time.
We had an ice cream social.
Yeah, where we made our own ice cream. We picked obviously some of the hottest days you could find in Texas.
We couldn't make ice cream fast enough, and they would pay anything for us. That worked. It was in July.
Yeah, but start off small. Just don't try to compete with the bigger offices. We did find another office, Southwest Dental Group out of Abilene, and we kind of made it a little friendly competition between our two offices.
Nice.
Who could raise the most money, and they kept beating the pants off of us, and so we asked them, well, what are you doing so that you're just killing us? And they were kind enough to tell us, and we started taking some of their ideas, and the last 2 or 3 years we've been able to put them in their place and beat them. So it's a friendly competition, but I'd start off small, do whitening, which is tremendous. Jeff Gray, one of Jeff Gray's original ideas. And then you can branch out and start doing other events little by little. As you get your feet on the ground, you'll feel a little more confident, and take it small, and little by little, you'll get great momentum.
Very cool. Jerry, maybe you could explain one of the special projects that you guys did with your gun raffle. Is that the best word?
Yeah. In Texas. Yeah, that probably was the fastest money raising benefit project. I mean, it went down to like 3 weeks and it was done, $17,000. Wow. And it was right at the beginning of the pandemic when the world pretty much shut down. So it happened quickly. That happened quickly. So we do have that going on right now. But there's just so many neat things that we've done over time that were different events. We've done water runs, the nighttime run. We shut down Victoria, Texas, which puts the population of Victoria about
70,000.
We shut downtown Victoria down for a night run. That was really good. That was a lot of fun. So there's just many things that if you can stick to the plan, because it takes a lot of volunteers, more than just us here in the practice, to be involved in those big events like that. But it's just a great thing to pull lots of people in, because then that's our Smiles for Life. So people get more familiar with it and want to be involved with something really good. They truly do.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah.
I agree. Very good. Kind of transitioning here. When the Crown Council once a year, we gather at our annual event. So if you don't know what that is, everyone and all the team members from the Crown Council membership, we gather together for 3 or 4 days of education and motivation and recognition. And without fail, you guys are always there. Some of the most enthusiastic people at the annual event with you have prepared to attend, right? I mean, you don't just show up and be like, well, hopefully this goes good. Maybe we'll just ask 2 questions here. Why is that gathering important to you? And then how do you make it so successful when you do attend?
It's important to me because I know that I'm going to be with people that inspire me. That's the group. And then you're going to bring people to us that are so inspirational with what the knowledge that we can walk away with. But it's great to be with people that they're like-minded. Things are exciting to them. Your motivation level is raised tremendously. It gives me enough to walk away with to last an entire year. And we start preparing for the next year while we're there. I mean, it's just a wonderful experience for me to be with people who are excited too. You know, they're excited also to be there.
Yeah. How do you say you prepare? How do you prepare to attend?
Sign up. Not leave there without signing up, because that's a commitment. You know, that already starts with a commitment. And then we just start looking forward to the planning, you know, and to include Smiles for Life. We're not going to show up without including Smiles for Life in our plan for that year. I start preparing by watching my team, because I love to write nominations. And I love to write nominations, and I want it to come from the heart. So I watch them too, so that when I put something together, or Dr. Gartz put something together, they're being showcased because they deserve it. But it's just a wonderful experience for me that I don't want to miss ever.
Everyone likes to get recognized, and it does take time. For years and years, I was the one who wrote out the nominations, and as I was crawling to the finish line, I started getting a little lazy, and Jerry said, well, I'll start doing those nominations. And lo and behold, she did a better job than I did.
No.
But anyway, everybody likes to get recognized, and y'all give us an opportunity to do that.
Very good. Well, it is a fun awards program. You guys are always involved, whether it's on the stage for Smiles for Life, over 10,000 recognition, or Best Doctor to Work For, or any number of recognitions that you've had from the stage. Maybe one last question before I let you guys go. My goal is always to get Crown Council members and teams engaged in everything that we do, whether it's annual event or humanitarian trips or Smiles for Life or online tools. What is maybe some advice that you would give to a new Crown Council member wanting to know how to get engaged, how to be part of this group, what would you share with them? Some things that you have benefited from the most that you feel have helped your practice.
You or me? I've got some answers.
Go ahead.
Try to get involved with everything the Crown Council recommends. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
And then after a while, if you feel like it's too much, you can back off of one or two. One of the things that helped me was the mastermind group. Definitely get in a mastermind group, and that is tremendous because you can share ideas with each other and share things personally too. I remember one member of our group a few years ago was going through a divorce and just didn't know how he was going to get through it. So we kind of were a little group that he could confide in and visit with. So whatever the Crown Council recommends, I would jump into everything and see what fits you best. Hopefully everything will.
Very good.
And for team members, it's never going to come to fruition if you don't have a doctor that's all in. It's going to start with them. It's going to start with them, and the excitement's going to come down from that point. So involvement, because there's plenty to be involved in on the website. There's plenty to be involved in for each individual person on the team, and we should be addressing the website at each team meeting. So we try to do that too, to try to get something on the table for team meetings also. So, and the books, the wonderful books, like the bicycle book. I love it. And the books. I mean, there's so much out there that's being offered to us, and we need to take advantage of as much as we can, because that's part of the food that keeps practices like this going. You have to stay with it all the time. And
I can't remember the name of those small books that y'all have put together. What are those called, Stuart?
Yeah, we just do those little 7x7 coffee table books at the annual event. The Never Stand Alone, the Aspen book, and the Born from Fire book, and the Hubble telescope book.
I'll tell you what we did. We love those books so much. We started buying them by the cases. And as patients would come in, maybe they lost a son due to a car accident, or maybe some member of their family got injured somehow, or they have a personal tragedy. We'll pull one or two of those books out and say, we know it's tough for you. Here's a couple of books that may be helpful. So those are tremendous.
Very good. Hey, well, I spend a lot of time with our young dentist program, young doctors, and I know a lot of young doctors watch our live stream here. You both have an incredible amount of experience and wisdom. What would you share with a young doctor or a young team member that is just starting their career that might help them, whether it's family advice or balance advice or office culture advice? What are some wisdom that you could share with a new young starting doctor?
That they definitely become involved with Crown Council. I spoke to a young doctor yesterday about getting involved with the young dentist program. I think it would be very good for him, and getting him involved in Crown Council in general. And I think that's going to be the plan. So moving forward, this young doctor is I believe he's going to be all in. So
another thing I would suggest, life is tough, and you want to surround yourself with people who are encouraging and who can help you and want to help you no matter what you go through. But persistence is one word that'll get you through life. If you can remember, persist no matter what.
Endurance, just stick with it.
What great advice. Very good. Well, I'm grateful for both of you. Anything else before we wrap up?
Can't wait to see y'all. Get ready for it.
That's right. That's right. You guys are coming to Salt Lake City. So here we are. You're coming to my town. Well, thank you both. You've had a huge impact on this group as a whole, both by your example and your friendship and just who you are, not just your actions, but what you've become. People look to you, and I'm so grateful for your leadership for both of you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, have a great day. Good luck with the rest of your day.
Okay, you too.
Okay.
We're trying to get it back up here.
Okay, do it.
Yeah. Thank
All
you
right.
so much for having us.
Thank you both. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Jerry was like a ghost, in and out.
Yeah, the filter,
The
filter filtering her out.
blur filter gone wrong.
Yeah.
Anything stand out to you, Steve, that they talked
Oh,
about?
so many good things there, Dan. Of course, Dan is a lifetime charter qualified member, been with us. Really, you talk about young dentist, Stu. He became a part of the Crown Council really as a young dentist. Now that I look back, and has built an amazing practice. It would be clearly the practice in his community. And he's just been a great implementer. So great model and example to follow. And he's now passed it on to Gen 2. He's got is transitioning in a young dentist to carry on the legacy and continue building. So the story continues.
Yeah, I love that. I love the part where they talked about connecting with Southwest Dental Abilene, the competition factor.
And that they're in West Texas. So Dan is in not East Texas. He's closer to Houston, and Southwest Texas. They're out Abilene, which is West Texas. So they're a good. This shows you how big Texas is. Drive time, that's probably at least a 5 or 6 hour drive.
Oh, wow. They're not in the same community.
No, I mean, they are way far away. So having the friendly competition from, West Texas versus East Texas, it's great.
Yeah. I love their creative planning. I mean, they spend a lot of time. They just don't do whitening. I mean, they're talking about gun raffles. They're talking about fun runs. I mean, they are part of that community in so many ways, not just Smiles for Life whitening. So that was
and it's all part of that doing good philosophy that has, cause related marketing is the term, right? Where really all of those things that they do that raise money and do good, they're marketing the practice. It's visibility, it's patient engagement. I mean, I could just visualize them doing the ice cream soda social and, selling all the ice cream and the sodas for charity, and it's engagement. I mean, it is engaging the community, engaging your patients, and has, it's a win-win-win across the board.
One other thing that I thought was interesting, spoken from, I think, a really wise, experienced dentist, is that idea that he's hiring someone from a personality perspective, not from a professional perspective. That he's picking people that are kind and loving and thoughtful. And I mean, I thought that was very wise, really neat advice. So, hey, very good. All right. Well, we didn't have them live, but it was okay. I think it's fun to catch them when we can. And I know we've got another one next week with Rob Warren that you did that we'll share another recorded segment. So very good. Hey, let's move on. Let's do our 12. Man, I want to hear your 12 questions to ask regarding insurance. And this is part of your upcoming August 5th through 6th. Should I be insurance free live seminar, Dallas. So we're going to be live in your hometown. And this is an all new live gathering that we're going to do. And maybe, I mean, I'm sure you're neck deep in research and finding out.
It's an interesting time, rising inflation, and in many cases, decreasing insurance reimbursement. It kind of defies logic. And we've been inundated at TOPS and Crown Council with questions about, should you be insurance free? How should you navigate the relationship with insurance? And Natalie shared some ideas about that earlier. And it's a good time to reevaluate and reconsider, and some important tools that you can put in place to evaluate as well as navigate that relationship. So regardless of what your relationship is with insurance today, whether you're in a network, out of network, or both, these questions apply to everybody. So this is a quick self quiz, a baker's dozen, Stu.
Nice.
So, actually 13 questions
okay.
That every practice should be able to answer regarding their relationship with insurance. And again, it doesn't matter whether you're in network or out of network or both today, key questions. So the first one, and this is a daily issue. So question number 1, do you have specific verbal skills for responding to patients when they ask, do you take my insurance? And especially if you don't, if you're not in network, do you have specific verbal skills that increase your chances of being able to convert that patient to a new patient, even if you're out of network? So do you take my insurance? How do you respond to that? Question number 2,
Okay.
do you know the math equation for determining if you should be in network with a particular insurance company? So there's a math equation that you can run that'll help you come up with the answer to that question. It'll help add some data to the decision-making process. Number 3, what is the biggest mistake practices make when changing their relationship with any insurance company? And this runs constant. It is so funny because it's almost the first knee-jerk reaction, and it is the biggest mistake that most practices make when they change their relationship. Number 5, now this one's a key one. What percentage of revenue should you budget for marketing if you are insurance-free or out of network? So if you don't take any insurance plans, you're not a contracted provider and not on any of the lists, so patients are going to find you by looking at an insurance list, then what percentage of your revenue should you budget for marketing? It is different than if you're in network, right? So what percentage of revenue should you budget? Number 6, this one's key. How many new patients should I have per month if I'm in network? So that's per dentist provider. How many new patients do you have to support and grow a practice if you're in network? And then number 7, which follows, is how many new patients should I have per month if I am out of network, if I'm insurance free? That number is different, by the way. Number 8, I get this question all the time. Can you be both in and out of network? So this particularly applies to practices that have more than one provider. And I get this question all the time. It's like, well, I don't want to be in network anymore. Can I hire an associate and they be in network and I be out of network? So that's a key question we get all the time. Number 9, can you have one provider who is in network and another one who's not? That kind of follows number 8. So can you mix and match? Number 10, do you have a step-by-step process for separating from any insurance that will result in maximum patient retention? That's the key. If you decide to change your relationship at any time, do you have a process that will maximize your patient retention? Handled wrong, I'll just give you one quick example. We've got a TOPS client in the Midwest where there were some changes made by one of the largest dental insurance companies. And so a lot of the dental practices in the community just opted to go out of network, and they did it, as we say in Spanish, de repente. They did it very, very fast. And as a result, mass exodus of patients. And this particular practice was the recipient of all of those patients, where a patient was calling and say, hey, my dentist won't take my insurance anymore. Can I come to your office? Just because it was not properly handled, right? So do you have a process so that you can retain your patients? And that is possible, by the way. Number 11, has your team been trained in all the specifics of dealing with patients' insurance-related questions, whether you were in or out of network? So does everybody know how to address those questions, how to deal with them, how to respond accordingly? Number 12, what's the timeline from decision to execution that it takes to separate from any insurance plan? So is it just like you wake up one morning and make the decision and call it quits? Or what's the timeline required to retain the maximum number of patients? And then here's your bonus question. Here's the baker's dozen, number 13. When does it make sense to go in network if you have been out of network? So we get that question a lot, as well as practices that are considering maybe signing on with a particular plan if they haven't been on it. And does that ever make sense? So those are 13 of many, many questions that every practice needs to consider on an ongoing basis in terms of their relationship with insurance, whether you're in network, out of network, both, some combination. So all things to consider. There's a process for all of that, and we are going to deal with all of those and more in August at Should You Be Insurance Free? And again, it's appropriate for any practice that wants to stay on top of and manage appropriately their insurance relationship, whether they're in or out or some combination of the two.
The coolest part about this is, I mean, I can imagine an office trying to navigate this world alone.
Yep.
And you and the TOPS advisors and everyone that you've interviewed, we're talking about the concept of the power of this mastermind, this community of coming together. It's like, I've made this mistake, or I learned this, and then you're sharing everything that's been learned over these years, everything that's changing. It'd be terrifying to kind of figure this out on your own.
Yeah, it is. And we've got our whole team of TOPS practice advisors. They're out in the field every day in offices,
right?
TOPS systems, and have guided dozens and dozens of practices successfully through this process. So part of this is they're sharing their experience and their wisdom of how to do it right and the mistakes to avoid and what to do. So
nice.
All of those things are going to be packed into a very productive 2 days that you'll be able to leave with some core things that'll help you make your decision moving forward on the growth of your practice.
I've got a question coming from the Facebook feed. As I navigate I'm going to navigate to your website. Maybe you can answer this question, Steve. Who is attending this?
Oh yeah, that's good. So if you go to courses, Stu, if you go to the
Yep.
Total Patient Service, go to courses, and it's down right there where it says INS, insurance, should be insurance free. So what we recommend in terms of who attends, it would be the decision maker. Typically that's the doctor. So highly recommend obviously that. And then any key team members that are going to be part of executing the decision that is made. So I would recommend doctor, and then to the extent that the spouse is involved in business decisions in the office, highly recommend that, as well as key team members. So some front office team members that are going to be responsible for carrying out the decision that's made, as well as other key team members. So do not come alone. So there's nothing that's more challenging than going to a course and then going back. And if you have key team members that didn't attend and trying to explain and get the buy-in and the whole deal. So make sure you bring your A team with you and have all the tools and be much better equipped to navigate better through the changing world that we live in.
Man, tough. All righty. Thank you very much. We're 11:48 where I am, and that's okay. We're going to end a little early, but great to be with you, Steve. Thanks for
likewise, Stuart. Thank you.
Good to be on our live stream. Missed it last week, so we're back in business. And anyway, great broadcast. Thanks, Steve. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Stuart.
All right. We'll see everybody next week. Thanks.